Hey guys, welcome to Talk to Yue. In this video, I want to show you a simulation of the writing section of the HSK 3 exam. For this level of HSK, the writing component is the shortest, but that means that each answer is worth more points compared to the other exercises. This is why I want to show you a few tips and tricks on how to approach these questions so that you can become even more confident and fast in answering the writing questions. So in the first exercise of the writing section, you will have 5 sentences where the words have been scrambled out of order, and you will simply have to put them back into the grammatically correct order. Here, the 2 main difficulties are firstly knowing all of the characters that are part of the question, but also the grammar points that allow you to know the correct sentence order. So let's start from the first sentence. So first of all, let's read each individual word to see if we know the meaning of everything. The first item is songe, so to give, to gift someone something. So it is a verb. Then 她决定, she decided or she decides. So that is a second verb. So of course, we can already imagine that the sentence will say something like she decided to do something. Then we have 把手机. 手机 means phone. 把 is a grammar point that you have to know for the HSK 3 level, and knowing how to use it will allow you to solve this question correctly. But first, let's look at the last item, which is Didi, so younger brother. So we have 2 people, 他 and Didi. We have 2 verbs, 决定 and 送给, and then we have 手机, which is a noun. Now, if you know your grammar well, you will know that the 把 is followed by the object of the sentence, meaning that 手机 is the object. And most importantly, when I have 把 plus a noun, that structure goes before the verb. So the sentence order will be subject, 把, object, verb. That is how the 把 works. So knowing this, let's look for a subject, which could be either Didi or 他. Our 把手机 will go after the subject that we choose, and after that we will have a verb. Now, of course, you see that 他 is already linked to a verb already. 他决定, we cannot separate these. And at the same time, 送给, if we use Didi as subject, 送给 will be the verb and it will go last. But then we don't know what will be gifted. So the only way we can solve this sentence is to use not Didi as subject, but to use 他, which is already linked to 决定. So 他决定, first item. Then we have to put the 把手机, and then the verb, because after 把 comes the verb, 送给, and then at the end we have Didi, which makes sense. She decided to gift her brother a phone. So of course, all of this revolved around you knowing what the function and sentence order is when we have a 把. So let's move to the second sentence. Again, let's read all the words. 见面, to meet, so it is a verb. 没, which makes a sentence negative, so 没 is usually followed by a verb. 我和这个学生, so me and this student, so it could be a subject, could be an object. 很久, 久 means long, for a long time. And then we have 了 at the end. 了 can go after a verb to create the past tense, but also at the end of the sentence to indicate a change or a surprising statement. So knowing this, let's look for a subject first. The only item that in this case can have the function of a subject is 我和这个学生, because all the other components of the sentence are verbs or adverbs or adjectives such as 很久. So 我和这个学生 has to be the subject. Then let's look for a verb. The only verb we have is 见面, so that is our verb. And linked to the verb, I have to add the negative component, so 没. So 没 will go together with 见面. So let's see where to put 很久 in this kind of situation. Is it 没见面很久 or 很久没见面? Those are our 2 options. When you have an adjective that goes to modify a verb, such as in this case, we haven't met for 很久, very long, the adjective goes before the verb. So 我和这个学生 很久没见面. And then the only part that is left is 了. So in this case, we have 没, which already indicates a past action. Otherwise, it would say 不见面. So the 了 in this case does not have the function to create the past tense, but indicates something that is surprising or a change compared to before. So this is how we went through the second sentence. Let's proceed with the next one. 经常, often. You probably recognize the character from chang, very often. So 经常 is an adverb. So after 经常, we will have a verb. Then we have 的, 春天, so spring. 刮风, it literally means to blow wind. It is a verb. And then we have 这个城市, this city. So again, we have two possible subjects, either 这个城市 or 春天, because they both are nouns. So let's start from pairing up the adverb with the verb. 经常,刮风. Those two will be connected. Now, what do we do with 春天,这个城市, and then the 的? We need a subject for the wind is blowing, or often the wind blows. The 的 expresses possession or a link between two nouns, so it will be either 春天的这个城市 or 这个城市的春天. Those are the only two options in this case. Now, let's try to see what makes the most sense. If I say 春天的这个城市, it means springs this city, which doesn't make sense. So we have to try the other way around. 这个城市的春天. Now it means this city's spring, which makes sense. In English, maybe we would say in this city during spring, something like that. But this way we see that it makes already more sense, because now the idea is that during spring, the wind blows very often. So, 这个城市的春天经常刮风. So as you see, it is all about recognizing potential subjects and verbs and eventual adverbs or other parts of the sentence that you might find. Let's go on. 他的汉字. Here they already paired two components of the sentence for us. 他的汉字, his characters. 写, which is a verb. 很漂亮, very beautiful. 的. Again, the key here is to know what grammatical function this 的 has. The is used after a verb, so the sentence order is verb, the, and then something that expresses how that verb is done, how that verb is performed. So here we can see that the verb is 写, so then we will have to write 写的, and then the only other element that tells us information on how someone writes is 很漂亮. So 写得很漂亮. And then, of course, the subject, 他的汉字, will go in the beginning. So his characters are written very beautifully. So 他的汉字写得很漂亮. The is a key grammar point for the HSK 3 exam. And then last sentence, 花了. 花 means flower, but in this case, we see a 了 behind it, meaning that this word is a verb. And when it is a verb, 花 means to spend money. 花了, so we have our verb. Then we have 叔叔的, uncle, 的. So uncle's something. So after the, we will necessarily have a noun of some sort. Then we have 900块钱, so 900 yuan, so a price of something. And then we have 太阳镜. 太阳 means sun or sunshine. Jing is the second syllable of the word 眼睛, which means glasses, so sunglasses. Even if you didn't know this word or these characters, you would know that this last item has to be paired with 叔叔的, because 花了 is a verb, 900 yuan is not a noun, and so we necessarily have to write 叔叔的太阳镜. So 叔叔的太阳镜. 花了, because we need a verb after the subject. 900 yuan. So literally, this means the sunglasses spent, but of course, we can interpret it to say they costed 900 yuan. So this is how you go about writing these sentences. If you are taking an internet-based exam, you will have to drag these elements in the correct order. If you're taking a paper-based exam, you will have to copy them on your answer sheet, which means that even if you do not know how to read a certain character or if you don't know what it means, you can still try your best to create a sentence that makes the most sense to you. Of course, the more characters you know, the easiest this is because the grammar is not so complicated. So as long as you know key grammar points such as pa, the, l, and so on, you will be fine. So this was the first exercise of the reading section of the HSK3. There is a second reading section that I will cover in another video, which is the one where you have to write 5 characters by hand, and I will show you some tips and tricks on how to choose which character it is and how to remember your characters more easily. So thank you so much for going through this simulation with me. I hope it was useful for your studies. And remember to check out my other videos in the playlist for HSK3 step-by-step simulations. I wish you all the best for your Chinese learning journey, and I hope to see you in a new video. 再见!